Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Let's get open for business and let's wake up the football gods. Wake up, guys. All right, I'm getting my studio put back together after doing the live stream at Lucky's. We had a great time. I know I had Eric and Derek and I had William. Thank you very much for taking care of Joe Boo's rum there during the game. I appreciate that. So much love has been given to me by so many of you fans. I want you to know that I appreciate. There's too many of you to even be able to thank. But how about our Cowboys? You know, it's funny because there's so many salty fans out there. So many people that are saying that, oh man, well, enjoy winning now, against loser teams. Hey, don't be mad at the Cowboys because we're taking care of business against teams you're supposed to. If you take care of winning games that could be a trap game, don't be mad at us. New England's been doing this forever. And I mean forever. Take a good look at their division. The Jets, the Miami Dolphins, and the Buffalo Bills. Now, the Buffalo Bills are playing a little bit better than they had been, but still, they're not on the level of the Patriots. They have give-me's every year. But I don't hear anybody talking about how easy New England has it. Okay, so we got to break and we got to play Miami. Now, shit's about. Actually, I'm sorry. Let me stop here for a minute. One thing we started, much like Major League in the movie, you'll remember if you are a fan of Major League movie, when the team was losing and the ownership was against them because they wanted to move the team to Miami, they ended up digging deep and basically saying, the hell with this. If we're going to go out, we're going to go out giving it our all. So they had a picture of the owner with all of the pieces of paper on top of it, and they said, we figure we need to win X number of games to make the playoffs. Well, the way I figure it is, we need at least 9 victories. Okay, at least 9. 10 to be safe. 13 to have home field advantage. So what we're doing here is we have the New York Giant dumpster here. And each time we get a victory, we put in another helmet. And it started off with the Giants being kind of lonely in there. Then we added a Redskin helmet. Now we're adding a Miami Dolphin helmet. My goal, I hope, that we fill the dumpster up completely. Now, a lot of people have been saying, oh, you guys got it made. We're going to be 5-0. Screw all that. We play New Orleans. And if you think that the New Orleans Saints are going to roll over and die, you do not know football. The Miami Dolphins came out here in the first half of this game and realized this is our Super Bowl. This is our chance to make a statement. This is our chance to show that we are not losers. If we beat the Dallas Cowboys, the team that everybody is talking about, America's team, then all of a sudden we make a name for ourselves. Sure, we're not going to go to the playoffs. We're not going to win the Super Bowl. But if we can beat the Dallas Cowboys for a week, everybody can be focused in on us being a good team. And maybe we turn it around. And that's the team that came out in that first half. Because our team, for whatever reason, is a team that starts out slow. I would like to see our team, just for once, come out and play a complete game. But we saw that starting against the Giants. Kind of slow. Barkley having a couple of runs, and hopefully Barkley's okay. We saw him going to the locker room, and it looks like an ankle injury. He's not returning. Um, I never wish injury on any player, and Barkley is the New York Giants. But the Giants, I haven't checked the score lately, but Daniel Jones seemed to have sparked something in those guys. So the Giants might be changing their mojo a little bit. But we got the New Orleans Saints coming up this week, and right now the New Orleans Saints are kicking ass against Seattle. Teddy Bridgewater, Bart Scott is probably going, I told you Teddy Bridgewater wasn't a slouch because Teddy Bridgewater is playing really well for New Orleans. And New Orleans, you got to understand that this team is going to come up around those guys because they look at it like this. Let's hold serve till Drew Brees gets back. Let's keep this together. If we can go 500 or better, we still stand a good chance of making the playoffs and making noise and have Drew Brees back. And sometimes it takes something like that to really get a team to coalesce around itself and become a great team. I guess I said that word right because I didn't see my wife look over like, don't use that word. Okay. Um, I was waiting. I was waiting. My wonderful wife is down here actually helping to clean the man cave because we're going to finally break it in next weekend. So I got some work to do down here. But shout out to her for cleaning my hats that have been up for years and are covered with dust. But sometimes, it's like the old win one for the Gipper, you know? Let's hold it together for Drew Brees because Drew Brees has been that great player. So if you think that we just got to win next week against the Saints Sunday night, you got another thing coming because we're going to New Orleans, the home of voodoo and some really good food, and the Mercedes Dome. So let's stop with this gimme stuff. There is no such thing as a gimme game in the NFL. As the Patriots, excuse me, sorry, they both have obnoxious fan bases. The Eagles went ahead and showed today. You know, I've got so many salty Eagle fans that are coming in here. Oh, you're going to crow about beating the Miami Dolphins? No, I'm not going to crow about beating the Miami Dolphins. I'm going to be happy that we did what we were supposed to do, and that is beat the Vegas spread, which was 21 points. We beat them by more than that. I'm going to be happier about seeing the Eagles lose to the Lions. And now you got to look differently at the Lions because I told you guys when I did my pick segment. See, when I say something, I can back it up. I said take the Lions in that game because the Lions are a lot better than advertised. They held Philip Rivers to 10 points last week. Philip Rivers and San Diego Chargers won. They ended up not losing to Arizona. They got a tie. And I said they're a lot better team than most people give them credit for. Or maybe actually it's the Eagles aren't as good as they were advertised. Because we were told that the Eagles are the best built team in the NFL. That, they were a Super Bowl team just 2 years ago. Yeah, they were a Super Bowl team 2 years ago, but what have you done for me lately? And we were told that Carson Wentz is, he was an MVP candidate. But understand, since the beginning of last year, Carson Wentz being injured and not making it through last season was 5-6, and he's 1-2 on this year. So that makes him 6-8 in the last season and the beginning of this one. It's not exactly the best record. And when you look at the teams that he's beaten as far as having a winning record, there's only one team, and that was the Colts. So now you have to ask yourselves, are the Lions that good, or are the Eagles really that bad? And with the Eagles playing Green Bay this week on Thursday night, being as injured as they are, this game is key. But I will say this much. Understand that it is early. It is only week 3 of the NFL season, and there's a long ways to go. We have seen teams that in the first month in September, and I always tell you guys, pay attention to what happens in September, but understand it's no real barometer to where teams are because a lot of teams don't play in preseason. They don't get their footing until October. But it's still important to get as many wins as you can at any point. Now, the way I always like to look at a season, because it is a marathon, because it's 16 games, is break it down into 4 quarters. And what you need to do to get to 10 wins is in one of those quarters, 2 of those quarters, you need to get 3 wins, at least. Then the other 2, you can go 2-2, 500. If you do that, you get 10 wins. So right now, the Dallas Cowboys already have one of those quarters in, which is fantastic. If you can get another win next week, that's even better because that means then the rest of the quarters you can go 2-2, 2-2, 2-2, and take off some of the pressure. However, I'm not satisfied with trying to get 10 wins. I want this Dallas Cowboys team to have some home field advantage if they make the playoffs. I want them to have every chance, every opportunity to make it go all the way. Now, in looking at this game, Dak had 1 interception, bad pass, but he had 2 more touchdown passes, which brings him to 9 on the season. But understand, it's not Dak alone. It's the play calling out there that's actually changing this thing. The fact that we went for 9 different receivers, hitting receptions on 8. Jason Witten has become the security blanket. You saw on that 3rd down and 20, he goes for 37 yards. Unbelievable. Zeke Elliott. Jason Witten, yes, honey. Jason Witten is back. He's not black. He's back. Okay. Jason Witten is back, and he is the security blanket. He already has 2 TDs on the season. he is the guy that Dak can go to when things are breaking down, and he is actually making a major impact on this offense. You're seeing Blake Jarwin, who's learning from Jason Witten and doing really, really well. You're seeing my man, Amari Cooper, looking like he is the real deal and making plays all over the place. He is worth the money. Dak Prescott, of course, is worth the money. But Zeke Elliott eating early and often now, which is something that usually doesn't happen early in the season for the Dallas Cowboys. Usually he starts off kind of slow, and it's about week 4 before he starts hitting his stride. But for him to have 122 yards this week, and not having to have that many carries. I mean, I've got to look at the stats, but I think he was over 6 yards a carry. But wait, there's more. If you act now, we have a Tony Pollard who had 103 yards on top of Zeke Elliott's 123. When you can dominate on the offensive side of the ball, and I know it was Miami Dolphins. I get that. I get it. I'm not trying to say that they are a good team. They're not. I know that. But you took care of business where you needed to take care of business. Defense, second half, a lot better than the first. And I guarantee you, if we took the statistics of the first half of games versus the second half of games, it truly looks like two totally different teams. But we have got to do better at taking the ball away. When we start playing the New Orleans and the Green Bays and games like that, we need to get more advantages. We need to get more opportunities with the ball. We need to keep the defense off the field. So I'm happy about where we are. We've got actually a 2-game lead in our division. We have 2 victories in our division. We have the Eagles at 1-2, and Eagles, Philly. Your Eagles stink. They stink, okay? They had to come from behind to beat the Redskins. They lose to the Atlanta Falcons. They lose to the Lions. But again, it's a long season. And I've got some work to do down here in the man cave because we're going to break this thing in next weekend with a grand opening back to football party here. I'm Mark Holmes, and well, how you Eagles feeling right now? I'm sure my number's going to be down this week because all the Eagle fans won't be in here. But it's okay. I got all of you, my Cowboy fans. I'm Mark Holmes, and I'll see you soon.